Okay guys, I'm in for the energy report. I just finished doing the masculine and feminine, so you can check those out. I also have musical accompaniments for those in my communities tab if you're interested in that. So as we move forward here, I shuffled all the cards and laid them out. So we're going to start with the Isis Oracle. Okay, I don't know which direction this is going to take. I'm going to try and make it short, sweet, and precise so it's easy to understand and whatnot. So we'll just get into it here. So the first card from the Isis Oracle that we have for the overall universal energies and what is going on in this field, hopefully to make sense of your world at this time. The first card is Serpent of Fire. Okay, the Priestess of the Serpent of the Sisterhood. Okay. Yeah. And what I'm getting highly here, which I think is what I've gotten in the past. Sometimes they'll bring up an energy that I've never ever read for in the past. But this is not so. I'm getting a sense here that we are trying to deal with darker energies. And this was evident in the masculine feminine reports. Definitely there is a, how would you say, there's an overcoming of obstacles, whether that's just within ourselves, forces outside of us, whatnot, but there's definitely a darkness that we're trying to overcome. Now, the sense that I get here is we are struggling to gain control, and for some, we are quite successful in this, is what they're saying. Like for the moment, this cobra has not struck us, right? We are in control and we seem to have power over it. Not only that, within our spiritual selves, we are divinely given the tools to deal with this. It's whether we listen to those divine tools or not. Now this Serpent of Fire, I know she's been through the gamut. She's got that crown, so she knows how to use her instinct. So having said that, I feel like we're in the midst of gaining control of darker energies, whether that's within our life, outside of us, or in the world today. Okay? The next card. Central energy is the pyramid of light. Step your vibration deeper into love. Okay. This is what I feel they're giving me, the energy that this middle area here, because I lay in a 3-card sequence. This middle energy is going to be what the divine is resonating at. And then the left or right side, you can guess where that goes. It will be either falling to this side or that side of that light, okay? Because for the most part, it is in this way. Okay, so the divine pyramid of light, the vibration deeper into love, obviously, right, the love. They're bringing this forward. They're going, the translation factor here is high. Why? Because it's being mistranslated. There's a lot of hate coming from people that are divinely guided towards love. So the problem here is our instinct is guiding us toward things that we love. And we're misinterpreting, or I don't know if it's a misinterpretation. Obviously that's the case, but it's also like our perspective is totally off. Because there's things here that are for our highest good. These are not things we want to go towards. And this is the interesting thing. Now I don't know if this is, everybody in the field, but this is some of the problems. People that are in chaos, this is going to be their thing. They're really running towards the wrong exit here. It's not going to get them where they want to go. And the universe trying to give your instinct or tune in your instinct as highly as they can. But if we disregard that, we just will not go in this way. Now, the card on the right is the Lady of the Stars, Priestess of Sirius. So this is, again, it's Isis deck, so it is a feminine deck. But the sense that I'm getting here is using our feminine energy to move us forward. And again, from the divine feminine reading, I get a sense of connecting internally. And external is not our focus at this time. Only that we go forward in the physical world the way that we want to. But spiritually, we're making a connection with the divine energy in order to be more in line with that. I don't know. I think for some of the feminines, we have a thought process of it's more of a selfish thing, but also divinely guided to get us where we want it to be happy, right? Yeah, there's something up with that energy here. Now, I don't know if they're giving me an exclamation mark on the feminine side, or that people aren't getting in touch with their feminine side. They're coming more for their masculine, whether you're a feminine or a masculine, woman or man. You may be coming from more of a masculine-centered energy, and this can be creating problems and havoc, okay? I feel if we get to our grace and we get to our peace, and we slowly tiptoe out of that, and try not to create waves, we can get somewhere here. At least this is somewhat what I'm getting guided by the Pyramid of Light. Okay, open doors. Now we're going to get into the Gaia deck and slowly creep into some things here. And also, again, I'm going to have a line of darker cards bringing up some issues. So, Dreams of Gaia. What do we get there for the Serpent of Fire to expand on that card? The Priestess of the Serpent Sisterhood. Also, another thing I want to mention is there's two people in the background. And the sense here is they don't know about the bad either that we've done or we're trying to conceal or whatever. Again, there's something between you and the universal energy that is being kept hidden. Okay? But again, you're always being watched by that universal energy, so don't perceive that you can quote unquote get away with this darkness in the future, because it will be exposed if we do not deal with this properly. So for some, this is really harsh, arrestable stuff. It's not a laughing matter, precisely. But there are people still sneaking around trying to get away with things. Like a child that the parents aren't home, they're going to go in the cookie drawer. I mean, that's the least of the worries, but it's a very selfish take, and I don't care about others' energy. So I needed to mention that. That's on the darker end of things. And again, we're trying to gain control over this, but unsure if this is actually where we're at. So as we go further here into the Gaia deck to expand on that energy, we get the Three of Air. Yeah. There's the Book of Knowledge, right? Is what it's making me think of. We're tapping into the Book of Knowledge. And if we are on the, if we're grabbing the darkness by the tail here, we got to be sure that we're doing this for the right reasons. Because the sense I'm getting is, if everybody knew about this, I wouldn't do it. So that usually stems from, wrong side of the tracks action. But nonetheless, it may be something in our past that we've done that we've gained control of now, and we're not going to continue to do in the future. Again, this is a testing time. And whether you know and nobody else knows, you will be exposed if you continue to walk down this line in the future. Feel the need to say this, because this is your warning. And it's not the first warning, they're saying. And in our past, we've had it come out and explode in they're showing me little pops, and the next one's going to be huge. I mean, we thought that was life disrupting. Wait till we don't change the way that we do things, or the way that we act, or the things that we're trying to hide. If we don't change this, this will take us under, is what I'm really getting. So heavy stuff for those really trying to rein in on darkness and keep control of that and keep that concealed. It will not happen, I'm telling you. I mean, why am I warning? I sat here about a month ago and I said, I am not saving the tail of these guys in darkness that want my opinion. Because there's somebody watching me who's using every bit of information that I give them. And the universe is going, that's okay, because they have to face the facts this way or that way. And I said, it just drives me nuts that the information I give is helping them in any way, shape, or form. And they said, child, it is helping beyond your processes of it. And even though, like a child, you tell them not to go run in the streets because bad things can happen, if they decide to do so, that is on them. And this is what I'm getting as well. Now, we're going to get into this knowledge energy. Okay, I get like a sense of looking for wisdom, seeking wisdom, again, from the highest good, or what are we seeking it for? Are we just trying to seek it in order to conceal our darkness even deeper? The sense is, if we do this, we will not be successful, because this is just not the path that will be supported. In fact, put us under. That's all they said. It will put us under. Okay, so again here, slapping of the fingers. And when universally you get smacked, you don't feel pain, you just lose. You lose everything. You don't get second chances, but I feel like this person has kind of squeaked through every little keyhole that they could and has come out and is still trying to, do bad, do harm, da-da-da. So anyway, we're seeking the rules here. We're seeking what is it that we need to do? How do we need to act? Now again, if we're trying to clear our life up in this way of coming from light, then we will find those answers. In fact, those answers will come quite fluidly, frequently. They will be all over. The answers for us to continue in destructive energy will not. Again, our towers will falter. So I'm just, I feel I got a hit on that, and that's personal for me. It's just, these people that are trying to do bad. Like, I'm not guiding you anymore, but I'm guiding you. And the thing is, there's no more outlets for this. You give it up or you cease. So, for some people that can be quite heavy, the consequences, right? So, even looking in the news, we're seeing consequences being held up for people that is kind of shocking, right? Okay, so now as we move forward to the pyramid of light, again, the energy is directly from the source. What do we get there? The 3 of fire. Fire energy, so action, so journey. This is, I think, titled the Journey card, so moving forward. The universe is going to move you forward, step by step, to get you in the right frame in order to move to your highest good. Okay, getting back on the lighter side of things. There may be people looking into how to accept their instinct in a way, like curious about the instinct. Maybe this is a total shift from the way we used to mentally deal with our universe, our life, our thought processes. We are having a hard time accepting these things flying around in our mind. Not only that, it just is so... there's left wing and there's right wing. And when you're left wing and you're thinking about right wing, that's not where you're going. So it's a complete change of the way, I can't express it, your thought processes. A need to move forward in this way, in ways that are going to be totally uncomfortable for some people, totally inconceivable for some people, but yet we're going to get funneled in this direction energetically, where it goes right down to, I have to take this, or not have to, right? Because there's no forcing. It's just you see all the bad options, and you go, I don't want that, until there's only one good option, and then you take that good option. instead of having 5 good options, and then you're like, da da da. You know what I'm saying? This is kind of what I'm seeing energetically. Pyramid of Light is coming down to help you journey forward into your future for your highest good. And we're moving. That's what they said. Even if we don't want to move, we're gonna move. That's the thing. I kind of get like a kid on the playing field or whatever. He's tired and he's worn out and he kind of don't want to go no more. And the coach is going, get up and get rolling. This is your game. You're here to play. Let's go. Gotta be careful how I say that. Now, Lady of the Stars, Priestess of Cyrus, as we go on to the right side here. Again, I was getting conflictive energy in the feminines. So again, masculine or feminine, male or female, you have feminine energy within you. Most masculines suppress this energy because they feel it is not powerful. It is not, they would be wrong in this, but it is not of use where they need to go. It is those that are truly in balance with the masculine and feminine within itself that doors will start opening. So to a high degree, this has to be incorporated. And maybe that's a problem here with, overcoming the will. There's areas here where we're still in resistance to gracefulness, to kindness, to compassion, to these kinds of things are weaknesses, not strengths. Okay? We may not be seeing this. Okay, on the Lady of the Stars, again, the Gaia card is in healing, yeah, right? And we were talking about the masculine and feminine energies needing to overcome the darkness and heal from it in order to truly move forward. How do we know we've healed? When we do not have any resentment toward a person or a situation that has harmed us, when we can truly see it for what it is and don't have any emotional baggage there that brings out that anger and bitterness or resentment. The more we can release, the more we can understand, well, this person did this because of this, the more that we can intellectually put ourselves in another person's shoes, even if they're bad shoes. We go, yeah, we see they're not evolved, or they're not in a place where they understand how much pain they can cause. You need to get to that spot in order to heal properly. So I'm just getting that there is more healing to come in the future. We may not even be seeing it at this point. From our vantage point, we may feel like we're in a good spot, and we are in a good spot at this time for the most part. But there is more healing to come, and that will be enlivened or brought to bear here in front of you soon in the future here. Okay? Now, Wisdom of Night cards. Okay? And again, these can bring in weird energies from stuff that, I never heard of. So, again, you may have the same cards, get different. I don't go by the book here. I just go by what I get from divine energy and what I can translate. Sometimes I do go by the book and read because they guide me to do this. But at this time, I'm just pulling energy that they're giving me for each card, how to display that and whatnot. So on top of the 3 of air, again, gaining wisdom to overcome darkness here. You get the Lust card. Isn't that something? For some, this is where it all sits. The darkness and lust. Now, I'm going to go in a place here. Some people, and I'm talking about sexual predators here. This is what it is. We have to gain control over our physical self. Masculine or feminine energy. Overpowering from a lust center. We may be. These people in this energy, they may be researching, trying to figure out, gaining knowledge, is what they said, on how to deal with this. This is a good thing because it's an evolutionary thing. Something has brought them to a precipice where they have to jump off of this cliff. Meaning, I can no longer do or let my lust control me in the way that it has in the past. And I need to do something in order to change that. There's a line that's being drawn here. Universally, for sure, they're bringing these lines to bear. But Also, personally, this person has decided, right? Like you whether you're addicted to whatever your addiction is, drugs, alcohol, gambling, there has to be a point where you are in control of this. Okay, no excuses is what they said. So when we're using excuses, we know we are choosing. That's a side we chose, right? Okay. So anyway, there's lust here. So it's going down into the gutter of sexual abuse, sexual urges that we can't control, don't understand, may not understand. There may be people in counseling trying to figure this out. I don't get a lot of that, frankly, here. I get personal work, personal looking into. I feel these people, whether they're masculine or feminine, they're not going to go outward and tell people they have these problems because they want to bury it. They want it to not be seen. They want it to disappear. And they're trying to find out to their highest degree. Now, I will tell you this, the universe will open the doors. There'll be tons of doors opening for you to go in this way. So be smart about who you trust. Because there are people that are going to be sent your way that can be trusted with this information and also with your path forward. And again, if we have a good, we've embraced our intuition, we will figure this out. So yeah, some sexual things here. That's a darkness I'm picking up on. And we're gaining knowledge on how to overcome this in some kind of way. Now, what does the Pyramid of Light have to say on its journey forward to everybody here on Earth? We get the meditation card. Yeah, that's how we connect, right? Gain your peace. And again, you don't have to label it as meditation. What do you do in your life that gains you a sense of peace and quiet? Some people, they go for a drive to clear their head, right? Some people listen to music and let their head open up. Some people knit or craft or crochet or woodwork or mechanical work. It takes your brain right out of it to a degree where we're not focused 100% on something. Whether if we have a sexual I'm going to use this as an example. If we have a sexual addiction, we really have to get to a calm place where we're not obsessing about where we're going to gain the next piece from. So we have to get in a mode where we create a quiet. That'll be part of not only part of some people that may come in your life, counselors or whatnot, guiding you in this way to do that. Because I think part of the problem, I don't know, I'm not a psychiatrist, but I'm getting part of the problem here is our focus. We have an overabundance of focus in the wrong areas. We're focusing on areas we can't control, we can't, overpower, we can't rectify all these things that are in a negative way. That's where our focus is on. And again, we lift that and hook it onto the other side, and then there's 40% of your problems. But again, if we've lived this is ingrained, and maybe we've seen this in our lineage, maybe our parents did the same thing. I'm not talking about the lust thing. I'm talking about dealt with stress by getting busy, keeping busy, not stopping long enough to think this is a bad thing. And if this is a habitual way that everybody in our family, everybody in our friend circle, everybody deals, we're going to have to learn to deal in a different way. It's going to be out of the box. And meditation, again, I don't like that word because it sounds like a chore. And it sounds like it's hard, and it's not. All it is sitting. At the end of the day, you may just kick off your boots, sit in a chair, and there's peace and quiet, and you just... you let it vibrate. That is a form of meditation. As long as you're not focused your mind on what am I going to do tomorrow? How do I need to pay the bills? What do I got to do? What are the grocery lists? Da, da, da. You get all of that. You release that for just a moment, right? And again, they're showing me how to learn to expand those moments in time. Because this person or people that I'm connecting with that have this inability to sit still in the mind, right? These people that have that inability, it's going to be really hard for them to just take 5 minutes to do this, to release the mind of the over processing. Okay. So meditation is the key, and this may come outside of you. You may have friends telling you how to do this in a way that informs you of this, or you get whiffs of slowing your life down through other people around you. And if you don't, then we should be making areas where we can gain this peace, because it really just does feel good no matter, right? Because who wants to run on the hamster wheel all the time and never get off, never have a break? You know, they're showing me the hamster sitting on a recliner reading a book with glasses like this. Is take it easy. You know, pick a subject you want instead of being driven by everything else in your life. Sit and relax. What do I want to do? What do I want to? Or if you don't want to do anything, just do that for 5 minutes. Right? And the peace of mind is priceless. Okay, Lady of the Stars and healing. Again, there's more healing going to open up. And I feel like, I don't want to scare anybody away from their peace and quiet. But once we get in this mode of training our brain to take a break, we will see and gain more information on the healing side. We will gain more opportunities to heal more things that we didn't see before, and we will also be more grounded in the things that we are already healing through, that we are mentally aware of. Because I'm getting I'm getting like an air sign mind, where it's just 100 miles a minute, and you're lucky if you can get your daily schedule in there, because this person is so on autopilot, it's not funny. So to stop them from doing their automatic everyday thing is a chore in itself, because they will do everything, any excuse, not to sit and look at their life at this time. Whether good or bad is going on, you need to take a moment. Whew, it's heavy coming in here. Somebody's on, like, are we on the verge of an emotional breakdown? And that's what we're avoiding? Because this is kind of what I feel. That could be. We know internally, right? Instinctively, we know we're on the verge of emotional breakdown, when all we have to do, all the universe wants you to do, is to feel it, so that it doesn't control you anymore. So that it doesn't go off, and it may be in the lust direction. It may be the way that you exhibit it in partnerships with masculine or feminine, right? We're going so fast, so far, that we just go one after another, that we don't process what the hell we're doing while we're doing it. So we're not making any sense while we're doing it. We're just giving out whatever we give out, right? In the lust department. Okay, the healing card, Gaia. Man, the energy's heavy here. Risk. We're going to have to take a risk in order to go off in the right direction. It's going to feel like a risk to this person or these people that are in this way. They're trying to cover up the darkness. They're going to feel like it's a huge risk they're taking. But the sense is that it's not, it's, because if we're safe, and we've been safe in the past, look where it took us. We're trying to get away from that. So we need to, in our what do you call that? Overworked brain, go off in a direction that we have not been before. That does feel weird. It does look weird. The sensory's going off. It's different. This is a good thing. So these are all clues. Even though I don't know, again, I don't feel this person has a good hang of their instinct. I do feel it's shouting from the rooftops at them, but they're wearing like beats and they got nothing but the beats going on in their head. And meanwhile, there's shit flying from the rooftops, but they can't see it and they can't hear it. And they don't let it affect them. This is what I'm getting. So that's why it's going to feel like a risk, because we're in the logic end. And when I say logic, sometimes we go off in logic and we're not doing the right thing. We think it makes sense in the real world, but our extrasensory perception is screaming no. We gotta, I don't know, I think I'm talking to someone here that I don't know that they'd actually get in touch with my reading, frankly, or admit that they listen to my reading, because they don't listen to that part of themselves. It's disregarded. They go, disregard. That's what they said. It's disregarded. So I don't know how to help you connect with something you're not connecting with or even acknowledging. But nonetheless, the universe is going to put you in a position where you're triangulated and you can only go one way, and that's to follow instinct, and it will slowly turn up the volume on your external world so that you can follow it more. Okay, so as we move on here, what are these cards? I don't even know what the name of these cards are. I have some more cards here and I can't remember for the life of me, and I don't have the cover for them with me, but nonetheless, these are cards that, interestingly enough, we're starting on the lust end with the Serpent of Fire. These things that we're trying to take control of, okay? The darker side of a physical aspect of our sexuality. It's interesting that they made me pick this deck, because when I first got this deck, I feel the need to explain this. There's a lot of just exposed pictures. There's exposed parts, private parts, these kind of things that are just overexposed in this area. So it's interesting that, these are the cards we bring up. And because of this, the energy that I sense from it is heavy and dark. So you can pull dark energy from these cards quite easily, because it is there and it is intended. And a lot of the decks that I have, there's some that are a little too light for me. And what I mean by too light is that I walk that line between dark and light. And I need to be on that line to see clearly what the dark is doing, so that we can counterbalance with the light. And those that are in delusion that everything is great and wonderful and whatnot, I cannot resonate with that area. So I would either give these away to people that I feel would be more of an energy match to those cards. And these, and I'm starting to gravitate to more of the darker stuff, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm gaining control over it within myself. So the more that I can gain control, the more I can step in there, because I've got my boundaries. And I've got my own moral code that I will not cross and I will not pass. And I feel like that's what this person is trying to do. They're trying to set up their own moral code and make boundaries that they will not pass, but they don't trust themselves enough yet. And they haven't healed enough in order to do so. Because once you heal and once you feel the emotions, you start to heal from the energies and you start to overpower them, and then you can walk in darkness because you know I am powerful and I will not let anything control me. It cannot control me because you see right through. There's no fear any longer. So that is why, if you notice in the readings, that I'm going to start using darker cards, going into darker energy, because I am feeling more confident to do so at this time. Okay? In fact, I do feel like I have inadvertently helped some people of darker energy. Again, I get mad at that. It kind of pisses me off. But at the same time, they can only go up from here. Because if they go down, they're taken out. Okay, that's another phrase I have to repeat. Now, again, on top of this lust card, what do we have to expand from this deck here that pulls, and in fact pulls, I don't want to say sexual energy, but naked energy, which can be very exposing. Okay, on top of that, we get the 8 of Shields. Yeah, right? When I said autopilot earlier, I meant it. Now, there's a woman here overlooking a man working hard on the boat. They're in transition. They're moving somewhere in transit. The child's doing its thing. The pentacles on the boat show that this man is working hard and he has accumulated a lot of things. The woman is just standing there staring blankly. Something is bugging her. Something is wrong. Does this man see? No, he's draped in work. He's focused on the finances. Okay, if we go back to the masculine report. So much to the degree he's not paying attention to his surroundings, not seeing anything that's going on here. But nonetheless, this woman is in some kind of way. And I'm not getting what way that is, but I'm getting that there's a fault here that needs to be acknowledged. It's not, okay? So this man is working hard. There's a child in the background. The woman is standing there blankly. So let's carry on. This is on top of the lust card. So this could be a loveless marriage. This could be, partners not acknowledging each other, but knowing there's something wrong, but not caring enough to dip into that side, not wanting to hear, not wanting to dig deeper. Okay? Could be that. Now, as we get into the meditation, again, the center line here is the universal energies. They want you to take time to pause, to check in with the self, and then possibly connect with the universal energies on top of that. Because if you connect with the self in peace, that's where they are. They go, that's where we are. It's in that peace. And the more that you do that, the more we get to a point where we can acknowledge something else is there. We start to let feelings in, and we start to realize what's our own and what's not our own. At this point, we're just kind of in shambles. So on top of the meditation card, we get the Six of Shields. There's a lot of energy that comes from this card. Now, first energy that hit me was things are crumbling at a slow rate. Okay? This is why some people may feel like they can take their darkness and continue in this way. It is starting to crumble at a slow rate, but don't be fooled by this, because it can grow by leaps and bounds, right? Now, another thing that I'm getting is the hands from underneath pulling. Now, this could be people trying to get at us in a certain way, or tug at us, pull us in certain directions. This is all stuff we need to understand. We need quiet time to understand who is pulling at us, who are we giving to in equal balance, and who are we not, who is taking unjustly from us. Because there's the balance over the head, that we want to keep things of equal proportions. If we give out, we want to make sure that it comes back in equal ways. Now, this person is giving from both hands. And the sense, too, that I'm getting is we may have to be aware of people tugging at us, but at the same time, the sense here is we don't really have anybody tugging at us at this exact moment, is what they said. At the exact moment. We don't, but maybe we know quite well what that feels like, and we don't like that. Maybe we have created some kind of balance in our life, or our life is balanced out in some kind of way that we are noticing a difference here. So there's that. As we go on to the wrist card on the right side, again, in our future, we're going to be funneled in a direction here that is for our highest good. It is going to feel like a huge risk to jump off in this direction. But if we are healing, or recognizing healing that needs to happen, it won't seem as bad of a risk. Okay, on top of that, we have the Ace of Shields. We're in the shields, right? That's the pentacles. That's the money. Opportunities. Knocking. Yeah, an opportunity is going to knock to take us away from where we're used to being. And it's going to feel risky. It's going to feel, we're going to feel unsure of it, because it is not something we are used to. We like to be on autopilot, frankly. We like to have our life going in a direction that it's second nature, that we just go. And the universe does not like that. Why? Because that's how we take advantage of people and things around us. We don't realize the greater worth of everything in our field if we were just going on autopilot. A lot gets pushed to the side, okay? So the Ace of Shields is about an opportunity that's going to come here where we can, a door is going to open for us to be able to give. And hopefully we have the discernment. Again, we're not listening to our instincts, so there's got to be something here that drives us in that way where we understand this is a good or a bad decision to make. But there is an opportunity coming here, and it's going to warm us in its direction, even though it's going to feel unnerving. Like I'm getting all the snow and stuff, like there's a pot there, and it's warm, right? But it's kind of going to melt all that snow so things aren't so cold. Like it's a new way. It's a new trajectory we're not used to. That's all I can get from here. So it may be types of people that we deal with. We're not used to dealing with these certain types of people. But now we're going to go there. We don't know. But, it's going to melt us in a certain kind of way is the sense. So it could be heart-centered people that we're not used to dealing with. Not used to going there and dipping from that pool. But it's going to melt us into an area where we'll learn better how to deal with our emotions. And also see examples, good examples outside of us of how to do that properly. That's good. Okay. The next row is the Chakra Wisdom cards. And on top of the Eight of Shields, again, there's somebody here kind of blindly looking into space. That could be you, it could be a partner, it could be somebody in business you're working with, somebody significant in your life that's just kind of letting life pass them by and not really absorbing anything in their surroundings. The Chakra card on top of that is the Empress. Now, interesting, a lot of green and blue green here. The Empress in this chakra deck, she's given the cup of love in order to go forward to find it, in order to go forward to express it. All of this. I feel like, there's a lot of people in this world at this point. They're just going to be opening up in the heart chakra way. I keep saying that, and it keeps applying. So there's different waves of people that are opening up their heart in a different kind of way. And they have to do this in order to gain, momentum forward, not only to find a true and loving equal partnership, but, it will be for our highest good and something that we truly do want. We may not understand it at this point, but, or know how to deal, but the more that we work with it, the more comfortable we will be. And the Empress is the beginning of that journey of heart. She's got her cup there, now she's got to go and fill it. Or she's in the process of filling it herself, and then finding others that have it filled. Okay? Again, this is on the lust card as well. So we may be realizing to a high degree that, these physical lust areas, there's not a lot of this love stuff in. It's just, again, taking advantage of situations and moving on. There's no depth here. Okay, Six of Shields, down the middle. Again, equal give and take. The universe is going to lay things out to give you opportunities to come your way to have equal balanced relationship. It's your choice whether to take it or not. But frankly, you'll get less and less opportunities to take the wrong road. Why? Because we emotionally evolve where we know more what we will and won't put up with. Okay. So the Hierophant is on top of the Six of Shields from the chakra deck. Okay. Again, that eye that sees everything. We start with somewhat the pyramid and the eye, right, of Ra. This is interesting because they're seeing what you're doing no matter if anybody's taken a toll or not. And I go back to this Eight of Shields card. And I feel like 360 this is going to resonate because there's people that are going through life blind on autopilot, just doing their thing and getting it done and going through life and die and start all over again. They just don't take pleasure in anything in life. They're just doing what they need to do to survive. Then there's people that are on the other side, like the masculine here, sitting, working their tail off. They're working and letting life, again, on autopilot. We're overworking ourselves. There's no balance here between work and private life. And we're doing that until we die, and then we start over and do it again. What are we're learning here? We're not learning anything. So this is what they don't like that. So the Hierophant is talking about the eye from above, seeing everything that you do and why you do it and whatnot. And even though you can fool everybody outside of you because either they're just walking zombies or they're just too busy that they don't notice, it is being noticed. And it will be rewarded if the right path is chosen here. And the Hierophant is a connection to that path. The connection internally to the balance, right? And then externally, things start to even out. Okay. On top of the Ace of Shields, again, I feel like the ice is the emotions, and that pot, that cauldron warming up is trying to melt all of that so it can be exposed to us to see. But, the cold cement or whatever's underneath that we've never seen it before. All we've seen is the white fluffy stuff, and we don't. It's kind of, how do you say that? Because I say fluffy stuff is kind of like love and bubbly, connective feelings. But here, we're melting the white fluffy stuff. It's like that ice on our heart to get underneath. And we're not used to seeing the cold pavement. The cold thing is that we don't use our emotions properly. We don't pay attention to them, use them, or don't know how to use them, this kind of thing. So that's going to be exposed. On top of that chakra card, we have the Wheel of Fortune, and that is our fate to do so. And look at all of the elements here. We have the Swords, the Pentacles, the Cups, and the Wands. We're going to say a little bit about each one. Okay, the Pentacles. On this grounded earth, our life is going to change. Period. Next. The Swords. In our mental mindscape. They're saying, again, change. Cups, emotional. We're diving in to the bottom. Not on the surface. They're not showing me no scuba diving, no flippers. We're going straight down. Okay? And then the Wands, we're going to take action from what we've learned here. Now, some people may be diving into this already, or learning to explore this, or this is the exploring and the researching that they're doing, is diving deeper into their emotional states in order to gain, more opportunities or see them more clearly in front of us, whatnot. So some people here may have gained power over their lust and are starting to come from a higher vibrational center where it's not lust, it's love. We're not just gaining an orgasm here, we're gaining a connection on deeper levels within humanity, person to person, right? This is the connection. And that is all fated. It is all things you cannot avoid. And again, the woman's in green. Look at her go. And the green, she's lifted her cup. Why? Because it's full and she's going outward and spreading it around. So we have evolved. Some of us have evolved to a point where we are learning to use our emotions. We have picked up our cup, brought it to the Hierophant and said, yes, this is what I choose, and this is what I want from my heart, my soul. Please send me in the direction where I can be full. And then what do you know? The Wheel of Fate comes in, opens these doors where you can gain better connections to people one-on-one, more deeper connections with people one-on-one, and then more deeper connections that just amplifies on a whole community, a household, family. It just multiplies. And again, that cup runneth over. It's running us over, and now we can spread it out to other people and show them what we learned from whoever we learned it from. Right? And that person that showed us that may not still be here, but we can continue in that energy to go forward and do as we saw. Do as an example was made. Do as. We know better how to do now, is what they said. Okay. So much for being short. Curious Creatures, my favorite deck. We're going to lighten things up. On top of the Empress energy, what do we get? The Eight of Pentacles. Sorry, that's a lot of repeats here. And the Eight of Pentacles is about hard work. So whoever, all these people here, this universal energy, we are acknowledging that there is hard work and effort being put in spiritually for these people, for their work to overcome. They are going to be rewarded here. A few more steps. They're only showing me 2 to 3 steps. And we are kind of free and clear of this dark hold that may have had a presence in our life is no longer. Now, Eight of Pentacles, even moments, there's so much here. The scissors, we're cutting out those things that are preventing us from being successful. We're cutting out those things that are slowing us down in any kind of way. Again, not to be overworked, but to be in balance yet. There are things that are obstacles that are getting in our way. We're cutting those out. Secondly, this is an otter. Otters play and they're frivolous and they, loop and they love to feel high and vibrant. They don't carry, what they're saying here is the example is that we don't carry a lot of heavy energy. We want to be light and playful. If there's things that are dragging us down, this is the cutting. We're getting rid of it. We're working towards those things that create light and playful energy for us. And look at me smiling and excited about the future. And the green vest, give me a break. We know what that's about. Okay, next. The Hierophant. Again, that's your inner connection, your inner spirit, your God, your priest. Maybe you're going to get absolved from things and really putting a final line. If religion is your thing, you may be going to a priest and absolving, getting him to absolve, meaning, what do you call that? Like saying, I did this, I did that, and getting an official word from an official body to absolve you of these things so you can start anew. I am getting that energy. Or at least that is a barrier that we may be creating for ourselves as we go forward, which you need to do because everybody makes goofy mistakes or stupid mistakes. Even repetitively is what they said. Because I was trying to rationalize that. I'm like, well, if it's repetitive, it's deliberate. But anyway, they're going, even repetitively. We have to forgive the self for going in those directions, period. And if we do not do this from our whole heart, we cannot go forward wholeheartedly in this energy without problems. Right? Without hiccups. Because that will always get in the way of our deserving energy. When we go forward, we have to be clear of this. Guilt, self-guilt. Okay. So the Hierophant, that's your connection between God and whatever. The energies that you deal with. Your eye that watches you. Your conscience. That's you and them dealing. On top of that, what do you know? We get the Justice card. And you know what? They said to me, if we leave our past behind, we cut it with those scissors from the Eight of Pentacles. If we leave our past behind and never touch it again, all will be forgiven. We have created a balance. And the balance is that we never ever go back to what once we had. And a bigger part of that I'm feeling is very heavy. Is the forgiveness of self. That's going to be the biggest hurdle because we can make a commitment or whatever, and there's fallback, right? Falling off the wagon or whatever. We don't go there. We don't put our mind in those areas. We choose. It's like we have to put our energetic force into a new life starting today. And that's a heavier frequency than I'll give it a try. There's no try, there's we do. And we commit to doing and da-da-da. So this is, if we can, I feel like the universe is going, if we can get this commitment, all is forgiven. If we can continue our life free of control from lust, energies, all is forgiven. But the biggest part of that will be this person forgiving themselves for going in the places that they did. Okay. Top of the Wheel of Fortune again. The fate is to come clean, to be absolved in the heart direction in order to go forward, clear, to a partner that is appreciative. And if we can't forgive ourselves, we will not feel good enough to go in this direction, so we will not gain it. On top of that, we hit the Chariot, which is a camel, which is interesting. This camel can go without water for a long period of time. Now, give me a moment, right? The dark and the light cat, symbolizing directions. The path is right down the center. So the sense here is, it is our fate to go in this new direction. Yeah, green stars. It's green everywhere. We can be happy in this way. I feel there's a sense here that we're going to be missing something. And it's not our sins of our past either. It's just we're unsure that we can be happy. And the sense here is, look at him smile. And look at the wings. It's like he's earned his wings. There's wings on the bike. Symbolizing, one, the ability for us to just fly over this. You know, the more heavy weight we put on it, the more it can weigh us down. But the more that we relieve ourselves of that heaviness through healing, through self, what do you call that? Self, what did I say? Or forgiveness. The lighter we just gain our wings and we fly over it. It's like it wasn't even a part of us. And it doesn't have to be a part of us. We're in charge of taking that along or not. And I feel like that person just doesn't understand that. Even intellectually. Right? So the Chariot. Going through the fields, I was talking about the light and dark, right? And, you know, for the first little while, it may feel like you could fall off at any minute. But the more that you gain your center path, and stick to that boundary. Again, I'm getting masculine energy here. That boundary that you keep and uphold, it just will make you stronger and stronger. And again, that is all fated, part of the path of light. And we can be happy. Yes, we can. And the universe is not going to hold it against you if you choose to live your life in peace, harmony, with a new direction in mind here, without the lust and control. Wow. Okay, so we want the animal card or the planetary card first? I'm going to go with the animal card since that's where we're at. So the animal card to shut down the universal energies. What do we get? What do you know? The sea otter. There he is again. Now, give me a moment. Yes. Oh, wow. Okay. They said, you see that otter, you remember the reading in the past. I had a reading in the past where there was some heavy energy attached to this. It's still the same energy. If we do wrong, our pelt is going to be held in, how do you say? It's like having the horns in the garage or whatever, the moose head or the deer carcass or whatever. Basically, there will be no soul left. If we continue in the way that we've lost soul, and now it's going to be a challenge to gain it back. But if we decide to do so, step one is acting as if it is such. And we just continue to act in that integrity as we move forward. Now, it says transformation, right, is the word. And again, right, this is the dark and the light. Look at the light, all the ice up in the air. There's an otter here. It's the skin of an otter. There's no spiritual soul. It's not alive. It's dead. She has taken it and either killed it or somebody killed it. And she's wearing it for armor. Yet there's one circling underneath, right? Basically, we can let it take us under, or we can come forward and be all that we can be. And the fish here is the symbol of that soul doing what it will. Whether you want to be soulless and just become a pelt up on a wall somewhere. Meaning, like, you know what they're showing me? Oof. Like murderers that got their picture in the paper. That's the pelt. Like, you'll be infamous, but it's not a good infamous. Or you can go in territories unknown. Like, this otter's in water, they know it. But it's dark in here and they don't know. This is the sense they're giving me. They're going, we may not know how to deal with heart and whatnot, but there's only one way to learn. Your first day of school, what do? You learn. It feels weird, it feels odd, but after a while you get used to it. And then what do you know? You gain friends. And what do you know? You learn and you grow. This is all the same thing. The otter underneath blowing bubbles. The spirit of the soul jumping because there's so much life that is yet to be lived. And then the pelt is a symbol of things. If we go in the wrong way, guess what? This becomes our soul. It becomes still and void. Now, again, going back to this bloody card of the Eight of Shields, it's the same thing. It's like we can live our life just looking in one spot while everything around us moves and grows and continues. Or we can take charge of our life, jump out of the water, and start moving and take action on things that we may not understand, but we can grow and learn to understand. Wow. See, otter. There it is. Now, the planetary card. Good Lord. Oh, the eclipse in Scorpio. What do you know? Stand firm in the eye of the storm. I'm talking about eyes here. I do not turn these until 32. 3 and 2 is 5. Yes, tipping points. 5 is halfway points in the tarot. 10, if it goes up to 10, halfway points. Where do we go, left or right? Regeneration. I feel like this person is at a point where they can regenerate their life if they choose to do so. That is their choice at this point. Eclipse is blocking out of energy. What would we need to block out? We would need to block out our past, our darkness that we came from. We would need to block that out. We would need to carry on as though it almost didn't happen, but we need to heal as if it did and move forward as if we're in a new eclipsed energy. Wow. And also, I need to say about the Scorpio energy. There's a lot of deep emotional stuff. There's also sex and lust and whatever in the Scorpio energy is where that dives, as well as that dives into that area. The winds are blowing here. It's in our face. Everything is here to be seen. I feel like for a lot of people, this is the transit. And you can either jump on the train and start barreling forward, or you stay in one spot and that's where you lock in. And again, for some people, I don't know what kind of energy I'm picking up on here, but for some people, they may be making headlines for the wrong reasons. Or they just, it's headed in a bad way. But that in itself is justice, right? Paying for your sins, this is going to happen. But if we move forward and we no longer sin in the way that we know ourselves what is right and wrong here. Right? You can't blur the lines here. If you are doing that, then that is part of your path. The fate will come to be that justice will come. But nonetheless, the eclipse is in Scorpio. So there's a blockage of energy. There's a stoppage of energy. And this is a place to reboot and move forward. Or a place to stop, period. That's another option. The eye of the storm. The eyes are watching, and some people like this, they may not have a conscience per se about what they've done. Or I think this person really does. I think they do, because otherwise they wouldn't change it. They would continue to do things. So to a certain degree, we have a conscience here, because we're having a hard time forgiving ourselves. So that's feeling the weight of our actions here. And again, if we decide tomorrow to stop what we're doing, justice by universal energies, we can be justified as long as we never continue to do it again. And that's that's the heaviest thing of the reading. It's right down the center. The justice will be paid if you choose not to do it. And I'm repeating, this is the 4th time. That's it. That's all. It's very simple. And live your life in a light and joyful energy as long as we make a commitment to go forward properly. Take care, guys. Have fun and be kind. That is the summer energy report for this month. I don't know. I'm going to attempt to come out here and do some readings. My focus has been peaked in the work area. I've been guided to put, I don't know if we'll go a little light with those or not, but those will be out on Rumble in the near future. So have a look for that. I will send you a commercial here on YouTube and give you, not a highlight reel, but some of the cards that I will be using through those readings. But I'm feeling guided to go in the work areas, so some people may be wanting guidance in that way, and that will be there for you in the near future. Take care, have fun, and be kind.